it's Mikey. Welcome back to the farm. We're glad to have you here today. I was finally able to have a chance to wrangle old hubby up here to make an introduction. So like I said previously, he works a full-time job and stays pretty busy around here on the weekends catching things up for me. So anyway, just wanted to introduce you. This is William. We all call him Bill. So if you'd like to say hi to our viewers.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing?
As you can see, my husband has cochlear implants. He had those recently done last year, and it's been pretty amazing.
Yes, it has.
The difference. So he's always had problems with his hearing since he was little, and was a good candidate for the cochlear implants. So I don't know if any of you out there are personally looking into possibly having cochlear implants done, or know somebody that does and is a little iffy or skeptical on, you know, the whole adventure of it. If you want to tell them a little bit, because from our perspective, it's just been amazing.
Yeah, it has. I was pretty much diagnosed when I was about 5 years old, and have been I wore a single hearing aid for most of my life, and then about 25 years ago I got two hearing aids, so I was wearing two hearing aids, and then they stopped making hearing aids that were strong enough for me to be able to hear with very good. So I got introduced by the lady that I was going to work on my hearing aids to get in this program with the cochlear implants. And it's been amazing. It's the first day I was frustrated when I first got them turned on, because everything's a little bit different from what you're used to hearing. But then after just a few days of it, I was able to, I've heard things that I've never heard in my life. I've had to actually ask my wife, you know, like, what is that noise? And it'd be like,
Yeah,
crickets.
you do that. He does that all the time. He's like, what was that noise? So
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing the stuff that you can hear now. I mean, I remember when you came home and the first time you heard a frog.
Yeah.
So it's been very amazing.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, that day that they turned them on, it was a tearjerker moment for sure.
Yeah, it was. Because at that moment when they first turn them on, you kind of, after you've heard one way all your life, and then they turn it on, and it's completely different. It's kind of frustrating, but it's a very tearful moment for you to be able to hear so much.
Yeah, that is one thing. If anybody is looking at the possibility of having this procedure done, I do remember the we had to wait a couple of weeks before they actually turned them on. After his surgery. And I think, you know, everybody was trying to prepare him that, hey, it's gonna take you some time to get adjusted. And initially it was kind of heartbreaking, because for you it was very disappointing when they first turned them on, and I remember you saying everything sounded robotic. And I think in his mind, you know, talking to people that had cochlears before and saying, oh, it's amazing, you know, you really need to do it. And Miss Cindy, his hearing physician, you know, was trying to push him to do this, because she said you were a very good candidate for it. So and he had a awesome surgeon, one of the best in South Carolina. So yeah, that was a disappointing moment. So if anyone is looking at having that type of procedure done, just know that it will come. I mean, you're hearing it, and things don't sound robotic to you anymore.
No. And the second one was a big change. It only took me, shoot, I think when they hooked it up, I was able to actually hear with it. And they was looking at me like, you can actually understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah.
Right.
And I guess it's because whichever half of your brain does what, it was able to train my other ear just almost instantly on what to pick up for. And it's absolutely amazing, because I mean, I can hear a car alarm go off like 2 miles away down the street.
Right. Yeah.
And
it's pretty amazing. So
yeah, and I couldn't hear nothing before. Now I can hear water in the waterfall trickling, and be all the way on the other side
the radio,
of the house.
you can hear music, because
Yeah.
I'm big in music. So I always, whenever we would go somewhere, anything like that, or I would hear a song and I'd be like, oh, listen to this song, listen to the words to this song. And he's like, I can't hear it. And it was just, I would always have to try to pull up the lyrics so he could read the actual lyrics to the song, or having closed caption on our TV. He can watch TV now and understand without having the closed caption on, which honestly, we still keep the closed caption on because we've gotten so used to it now, for me and not for him. So, but anyway, but yeah, he did amazing in the procedure. We've had no problems or issues with it. Like I said, he had an amazing surgeon here. He is one of the best in South Carolina.
Yes.
I'd say probably one of the best nationwide, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I know when I was going to him, he was saying that, and his secretary said people will come from 3 or 4 states over and flew here for him to do the operation.
Yeah.
Because he was so good. Where he can do it in a matter of that's an hour or 2, where most surgeons take 5 and 6 hours to do the operation.
Right, right.
It's amazing.
Well, that's the whole thing. When we went for your procedure, we sat there and waited longer.
Yeah.
For, I guess, the pre-op stuff, then he was actually in surgery. So, and then you were actually in recovery longer than you were in surgery.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, he did a wonderful job, and would definitely recommend him to anyone. You know, if you're in the area, or you know, could come to South Carolina to go to him to have this procedure, I would highly recommend him. So anyway, so I had previously told our viewers, kind of touched on a little bit how we got started here. And you know, I told y'all I sold my truck to come up with the financial means that we needed to build a barn, get livestock, you know, put up fencing, different things that we needed. But you know, the kids, before they moved out and went to college and everything, you know, we've always had like a couple of chickens, or, you know, they had a rabbit or a goat. That's why Shay's been up in the pen for so long by himself. But we had, each of the kids had
a goat and chickens.
A goat and a chicken and a rabbit. So, you know, but I personally didn't really get involved as much with that with the kids, because that was their thing, that was their responsibility, you know, their chores in the afternoon to come home, take care of their animals, and it taught them a lot of responsibility, right, for something,
it did.
And how to care for something. So you know, when me and my husband, we've been talking about doing this for quite some time now, and you know, like I told y'all, I'm from the city. We didn't grow a garden or raise livestock. I mean, we were in the city, so all this is so new to me. So, like I said, my husband's kind of grew up more so in this type of lifestyle than I have. You've never had cows? No, you did have a cow growing up.
We had horses.
So,
pigs.
Yeah, that's right. You did. But for me, not knowing, and being brought up in this type of lifestyle, it was very intimidating. So I was kind of like, yeah, well, maybe one day. And honestly, with the way that things with the economy is going now, the cost at the grocery store, you know, not what's going to happen. And I don't want to get into the whole doomsday thing, but us personally just wanted a more sustainability lifestyle, that we could be, you know, self-sufficient and sustain ourselves without having to be so dependent. You know, you've got the war in Ukraine, you've got this war here, this war there, so it's already affecting our fertilizer, our grain, you know, and all this stuff happening. It just made me get to a point where, like, I just started doing a lot of research because I'm here. I would be the one taking care of all this, by myself pretty much. And, I needed to educate myself so I would know what I'm doing. And y'all, I have made a lot of mistakes along the way doing it, but don't be intimidated by it. If this lifestyle is something that you would possibly be interested in, take it from the city girl. Don't let it intimidate you. Do research. Gain knowledge. If there is a local farm that you can go to, that you can work on for a day just to kind of get the ropes. We go to Wagner Milling Company to get our feed. And there's farmers in there all the time. And I'm telling you, people that are in this lifestyle are so willing to help anyone that is looking into, entertaining the thought of this type of lifestyle. So, that is the good thing about the homesteading lifestyle. Hold on, I'm gonna take a drink.
Yeah, the pollen's pretty bad today, blowing around.
My hubby got me a cow cup, y'all. Brownie knocked over my water cup in the barn the other day. So, hopefully I won't have to worry about that anymore. No. But, if you can just go to a local, farm supply store or milling company, or know somebody that has a farm, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be willing to answer any question that you have, help you out any way you can to give you the knowledge you need. So that's what I'm saying. People in this lifestyle, as long as you're trying to help yourself, then you're going to find that this type of community is very helpful to each other. So like I said, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, as far as, how to care properly for chicken, how to properly care for the goats, how to properly care for our cattle, even our dogs. I've had a dog growing up my whole life, but you gain certain knowledge as you go along, even gardening. So, and I think in this type of lifestyle, it's a never-ending knowledge that you can gain, because you're always going to learn something new from somebody else that might do it this way, that might be easier, or, you've been doing it this way, and your way might be better than somebody else's. So, don't let it intimidate you at all. It's seriously very rewarding. Yes, very rewarding. So, and I enjoy it. I really do. There's been times, of course, I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, it can get frustrating, especially when you're here doing it by yourself. There's only so much sometimes a female can do. And you definitely can't live the lifestyle of planning your day. We found that out, because you might have a heifer calf born or twin goats born, that ruined our plans for the day, but we got something great out of it. Anyway, you just have to learn to adjust and adapt as you go along, and know, it will change your lifestyle and your life, but in a good way. So anyway.
Well, I know I'm very proud of her. She took this head on, and the only reason we got so many animals at one time, because I grew up, we was raising cows, raising chickens, raising all that, so I kind of knew how to handle it and be able to help her out. For anybody starting out, I would recommend just maybe starting out with a couple of chickens and learning from there, because you always learn new things, and you just have to be willing to just go along and just learn new things. And new challenges. And
just put forth the effort. I'm the type of person that whenever I set my mind to do something, I am very determined. I'm not going to give up. I will just keep going until I get it. It's like,
that's right.
I'm not going to just easily give up on something. But he is right. If you are possibly looking at doing something like this. I mean, you don't even have to, you know, obtain livestock. You can, you know, grow a small garden if you have, you know, a small area where, you know, like in the city that you can't grow a garden. I'm hopefully going to do a video in the future, hopefully, to show you, you know, plant stuff in planters or in your little flower beds around your house. Utilize, raised beds. I actually have a raised bed with carrots in it right now that he did for me, but utilize whatever space you have, and you know, grow a tomato plant, you know, or something. But if you are interested in gaining livestock or anything like that, you are right. I mean, if you want to just kind of ease into it to see if this is something that is for you, you know, get a chicken or two and start out with that, and you know, go from there. Usually chickens are easier to raise than anything else. So yeah,
that's what I was saying. I'm very proud of her. She hit it head on and went out there, and like I know she told y'all in your videos before, she's got the cleanest cow pasture I've ever seen. Most people just clean their barn. She goes around with a pooper scooper and cleans the entire cow pasture. There's nothing out here.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, I sit and wonder, you know, I really shouldn't probably be picking up all the poo, because it is natural fertilizer. And the chickens, when we let them out, it's good for them too, because they get in there and scrape it all down and get out any, you know, worms or anything, you know. So, and like I said, y'all, you know, every little bit of this, I'm still learning. So, like I said in my first video, any information, any knowledge that you have, you know, you may be experienced doing this and watching little old city girl here, and you're probably like, what in the world is she doing? But please, I'm open to anything that would help and increase my knowledge of doing this. So anyway, yeah, I pick up the poo for our compost pile, so it is utilized in the ways we need it utilized. So
she's actually driving the tractor around.
Trying to learn how to drive the tractor. So well, driving, it's the easy part. It's working the buckets. So I've you know, but just stuff like that it's a learning process, and especially for somebody that's never done it before. But it's something fun to learn. It's something that you're going to get something back out of that is going to be self-gratification, knowing that this is something I put my time and effort into. You know, it's not like me going to work and I'm working for somebody else, and, you know, I'm sitting there busting my behind, making somebody else $1, and I walk away from a job at the end of the day, and it's like, okay, I just spent 8 hours of my day making money for somebody else. What did I gain out of it other than my paycheck?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, this is something that I put my heart and soul in, and it's a lot harder work running something like this than it is per se going and sitting behind a desk all day, you know, on a computer answering the phone or, you know, whatever. But I walk away from this every single day with a sense of pride. You know, that wow, and every day it's something new. It's something new every day.
That it is.
So, but anyway, y'all stick around with us, and we've got a lot of work to do this weekend. We're gonna try to get some plants repotted. I started some seeds for our garden this year, so and I'm going to try to show y'all a little bit on that too, how we kind of utilize old 2-liter bottles to put our seeds in. I mean, you know, like I said earlier, you know, our kiddie pool to put our cow hay in, you know, the expense of everything right now, sometimes you can only do what you can do, and that's okay. That's okay. Utilize what you have. You don't have to have the biggest and the best all the time. You know, sometimes the biggest and the best isn't always the best.
That's true.
And especially if it's going to put you in debt. So I don't advise that. utilize what you have. You know, we've been using our 2-liter bottles and cutting them in half and poking holes in the bottom of it and putting our seeds in. So I'm going to try to replant some of the smaller ones that we have, the smaller containers.
Some that we kept over from gardening and stuff.
Right. So anyway, but it's definitely getting that time of year, y'all. The pollen is already horrible. And you know, we were sick a couple of weeks ago with whatever was going around. Everybody in the family got it, and just hacking and coughing, and I don't know. I mean, I'm still hoarse and hacking and coughing, but I honestly now think it's just the pollen in the air.
It probably is. There's like dust clouds of it going around. I've seen today, and my eyes are burning.
Yeah. So anyway, today, what I was telling y'all too, the expense and stuff of running a farm, you know, always be prepared, because you're always going to have something come up. You know, last week we had to go get the hydraulic line
on the backhoe,
on the tractor, rebuilt or
get
a new one. So that was an expense that we weren't looking at having.
No.
Today he went to go get another rototiller for our garden because the rototiller.
Yeah, the gearbox locked up in it.
So it's always something. And honestly, this lifestyle or not this lifestyle, you're going to find that in any lifestyle. It's always going to be something that you're not prepared for or expecting. So, you know, just know that. I mean, and that's no different with anything in life. But, so he's going to be putting the tiller together.
Thought it would come in one bigger piece than it did, but.
Yeah. But he's good at stuff like that. I'm not. He's I can tell him I want something built and show him what I want, and he does it. So, I mean, it's amazing, his crafts style and his building expertise and putting stuff together. So it amazes me. But anyway, trying to, I guess, learn the ropes a little bit, but I usually leave that up to you and just say, you can do that. I'll go find something else to do. But anyway, y'all stick around with us. We've got a packed filled weekend, y'all. Packed filled. So anyway, glad to have y'all with us today. Got hubby here working on the new rototiller. Looks like you almost got it all together there.
Yes, ma'am. It's almost together. It came in quite a few pieces.
Yes, it did.
And obviously it comes with motor oil, but it doesn't come with transmission oil. And I was informed when I bought it that they just came out with this model about 3 weeks ago at Northern Tool. I've never bought a tiller from Northern Tool. But they said that they had 3 of them in the back because they didn't know it neither. And they sold them to the customers, and it came with a bottle of oil, which you would think would be the only thing that you would put in it. And the gear case tore up into brand new tillers, so they're sitting back in the back now. They had to give the customers new tillers, and they informed me when I bought this one that I needed to go by a parts store and buy some 85 weight 140 gear oil because they don't even carry it in the store.
Oh my goodness. They don't make things like they used to.
No, ma'am, they don't.
All right, everybody, this is what we were talking about. Just an old 2-liter bottle. Instead of throwing them away, save them up. If you know somebody, if you don't drink soda or have 2-liter bottles that you can utilize, ask somebody to save them for you if you know anybody that has any. And so you just cut the top off of them. And you want to go ahead and show them the...
Turn it into a little planter. Still got a little soda in it.
Yeah, I got to rinse them out.
But honestly, I was just telling her, these save, honestly, if you add all these up and you get like 10, 15 drinks or something like that, by the time you get through with it, you're probably honestly saving about $30. Because if you go to Lowe's and try to buy the planters and stuff like that, anything that's any size like that, they're probably about $5 or $6 a piece.
Yeah.
And something like that. I mean, if it lasts a year, you've got more than your money's worth out of it. It was free. And...
Well, not necessarily free unless you have somebody that gives them to you.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that's true. But I think they're gonna hold up because the ones she's got out there, I think we'll be able to use them for a couple of years.
Yeah, and as you can see, I label them. Try to get a little bit closer. I'll show you a little bit closer in a minute. But I just take a piece of tape and write on what it is, and then that way I can take the piece of tape off after I use them, and I can store those back somewhere and reuse them again. You know, later if we decide to do something else this year or next year even. So, well, you want to drill a couple of holes in them just so they'll see what we were talking about, because you need some you know, something for the water to actually drain out of. You don't want the water to just sit there and you know, for the roots and stuff.
Let's drill about 2 holes, big holes. I was using a smaller drill bit.
All right.
But you can just drill.
All right.
If you use a smaller bit, you can drill one in every one of them. That way your plant don't get flooded and waterlogged and die.
Right. So he did get the smaller drill bit to put the holes in the bottom. The other one was a little bit too big. So make sure you use the right size drill bit. And we use Burpee organic potting soil, bags upside down. But anyway, so you just take your potting soil, make it a mess. And a lot of people wear gloves when they're gardening. I don't. They get in my way, so I can't work with the gloves on. But and I'm not good at this. I always have a hard time, and I don't want to mess it up. That one's not coming out good. All the dirt's going everywhere. I'm going to try to save it. They're just starting to get a little bit leggy. And as you can see, sitting them in front of the window, growing towards the sun, I try to rotate them around so they won't get so bent over, but this one is just not wanting to cooperate. Okay, so like I was saying, I just get a roll of tape and write down what it is that I'm planting. And this is the classic beefsteak tomato. Made that one a little bit too big. And sometimes the tape doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. And I just take it and put it on the container. So then that way, if I reuse this, I can just take the tape off. And, you know, if I plant something else in it, I got a new label. It's easy and not expensive at all, y'all. So I've got a couple more tomatoes to repot. Hubby's up in the garden right now using the new tiller, trying it out. So hopefully that'll go well. Anyway, getting ready for that upcoming planting season, y'all. And hopefully it'll all turn out good. You know, sometimes my thumb's not as green as others. My mother-in-law, man, I tell you what, she can take stuff and root it and have 100% luck, it seems like, every time she touches something. Me, not so lucky. So anyway, whenever I have questions about planting anything or whatever, she's my go-to person. So anyway, yeah, she's got the green thumb in the family. All right, got the feed buckets ready, got my water. So hubby's coming behind me with a load of hay and some boards to fix up Miss Candy's stall. She's in a stall next to Ruby, and Y'all see this, right? Ready and waiting. They said, feed me. So we're gonna fix up Candy's stall. Just worried about the little ones being able to get out. And we don't want the little ones to get trampled on, do we? No, we don't. That's my boy right there. Okay, so we've got everything that we need to get done up here at the barn for the night for these babies. So we're gonna call it a night. It's been
quite an adventure today.
Yes, it has. So anyway, we got a lot accomplished though. You know, y'all only saw little bits and pieces of our day today. So we try to carry you along as much as we possibly can to show you, you know, what we're doing and everything. So, but of course there is a lot of also behind the scenes things that you're not always able to catch on camera as well. So, but I think we're gonna call it a night, go inside, get us some supper and get us a nice warm shower and
let the puppies in and just relax.
Yeah. So anyway, and we'll be back at it again tomorrow.
Yeah, we will. Full steam.
Yes. All right. Y'all have a good night.